Hey guys, how you going? Hope you're all doing very well on this fine day. This afternoon I'm going to be sharing another review, so hopefully you can enjoy this one as much as the others. This film is an Asian horror film. It's not a ghost story. It's from Hong Kong, so it's spoken in Cantonese, English subtitles, released in 2010, directed by Pang Ho Chung, and this movie is called Dream Home. And the story to this one is as follows. As a child, Chang Li-shung could see Hong Kong's famed Victoria Harbour from her apartment. However, as time passed, the old buildings in front of her home were demolished to make way for the huge residential project that now blocks her cherished view. Chang vowed to save enough money for a new apartment with a magnificent sea view, and now works hard in two full-time jobs. Yet no matter how hard she toils, she cannot earn enough to match the ever-increasing value of Hong Kong's real estate. With her terminally ill father and medical bills rising, she makes a fateful decision. She allows her father to die and cashes in his insurance. Even this, however, is not enough. It seems Cheng's dream home will remain forever out of reach. Then suddenly it dawns on her. To get what she wants, she must take matters into her own hands, even if that means getting them seriously bloody. So the film takes place with Cheng. She's the main character, and she is a real estate agent. As a child, Cheng had a magnificent harbour view when in her family home with her mother, father, and brother. But this family home, they had to be evicted from it because there was a new housing project going on. So the family were forced to live in a much poorer sort of neighbourhood. So her dream was shattered then, and she really wants to get back to her dream home that oversees the sea. So now she's a young adult and she's working two jobs to get her dream home. That is what she's working towards. But no matter how hard she works, she just can't seem to earn enough cash. So time goes by and she's constantly being disappointed and she doesn't know where she's going to get the money from. Then all of a sudden she just flips out and she realizes that if she can't slash the prices, she's going to start slashing people up in the area in a way to hopefully get the price of the land lowered down a little bit because of the horrific events that are going to take place there. She hopes that no one else will want to live there. So that is her ticket to her dream home. Whether or not she achieves this dream, that's something I'm going to leave for you to find out for yourself. So that's as far as I'm going to go synopsis. Now I'm going to be telling you what I thought on this film. Now, I was really excited to see this. Not only is it a very gory film, it's a film that doesn't involve ghosts. And recently, Asian cinema has been steering away from the ghost subject, and that's really, really promising because I thought they overdid the ghost stuff, and it just become, very, very boring and stale. And as a result, Asian horror was really suffering. So to see them taking a new approach is really, really refreshing. I also love the fact that 2 years ago, very surprisingly, China wanted to outlaw horror films and other films that they felt are going to damage their youth psychologically. I think that's absolutely ridiculous. You can't ban horror, and I don't think it's right for politicians to determine what we can and cannot watch. So thankfully, 2 years after this ridiculous thought, they've come up with another Cat 3 film. Now, if you like films like Ebola Syndrome and An Untold Story, which are much older Cat 3 films, but they have a very shocking experience, this one lives up to that sort of stuff. So it really is a throwback to the old Cat 3 sort of stuff. So I was really, really impressed to see that Hong Kong were delivering something of the old standard. Now, gorehounds, I really like the gore in this film, and I'm sure a lot of gorehounds are going to love it as well. It's being compared to Inside, the French film. I feel that it's not as gory as the French film, but having said that, this is a much gorier experience than the typical Hollywood PG-13 experience. There are some very ghastly scenes, and there's one scene especially that involves a pregnant lady that's going to upset a lot of viewers. I'm not going to tell you what happens, but yeah, the gore was very, very gruesome and very graphic, so gorehounds are going to get a lot out of this. Now, I thought the characters, it's well acted. Each and every character was portrayed well. Ho Ji Ho, or Josie Ho, the main actress, I've never heard of her before. Apparently this is her debut in a horror film. I thought she portrayed an interesting enough character. And so, the acting, as far as the slasher film is concerned, is never required to have a very in-depth effort. So it does pass off as a realistic sort of storyline. And the characters were a very realistic sort as well. So there's, as far as the production goes, I mean, it was shot well, and there's a lot of technique involved. And so all of that should add up to a very pleasant experience as far as a horror fan is concerned. But I felt myself being very, very disappointed with this one. It was nowhere near as good as I was hoping it to be. And considering the premise of the film and the fact that it's a very gory one, it just comes as a grave disappointment, because slasher films are not that hard to make, and they're supposed to be a lot of fun. But the way the director directed this film just took all the fun out of it for me. Now, where I have the biggest problem is the fact that, okay, I'll go through my slight concern, a minor sort of flaw, and then I'll go through the biggest flaw. Now, the minor flaw is that we're supposed to have sympathy for the main character, but she's a complete psychopath. And some people have said she's not, but you see what she does, and she is a psychopath. And so I really couldn't get the feeling of sympathy because of the way the actual story was told, which is my major concern for the whole film. Now, it's told in a flashback sort of manner, is that you get the first scene is a very violent scene, and that really sets the tone for something really cool. But then it goes back into flashbacks, and it tells you how this woman came to being what she was. So instead of making a slow sort of beginning and then building up to something very climatic and very gory, it's decided to build up some suspense and then let it all go by going back into a flashback mode. And I really, really hated the way it was done, because number one, you can't get any sympathy for the main character because you already know what she's capable of. And number two, when the suspense is really starting to happen, it's starting to get really creepy, the grip on your throat as a viewer is let go, because you're going into these boring flashbacks that I felt really, really damaged the movie. It just felt very, very disjointed. There was no momentum, and in the end, I was more annoyed than anything. I just really, really hated the way he's gone back to the flashbacks, because it completely damaged the actual when the good things start happening. It's just very disjointed, and in the end, it was a very, very disappointing effort from this director. He had a lot of good things going for it, but I just felt that he tried to do something a little bit too ambitious with this one, and it really did become a mess in the end. So, as a result of that, I'm only going to give this 2 stars. I'm not going to recommend it. I was bitterly disappointed, but if you want to go into it thinking, you know, if you're just a gorehound, then I will definitely recommend this. I just felt that the director tried to put too much depth in a horror film that didn't need to be in depth. It just needed to be fun, but unfortunately the flashback and the moving sort of moments really did dampen the experience, and in the end it left me annoyed more than enjoying the film. So it was a great shame, had a lot of potential, but it just didn't deliver for me. Alright guys, that's my review. I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you later. Bye.